What's up? What's up, Jason? I see you. Man, who's been helping me out. Hey, Jody. Hey, guys. As you guys can see, this is Lakota back with Lakota Lichtwald Media. We are in downtown Kenosha, off of 56th Street on the east side of Sheridan Road. So, as promised, we took a break and we are back. We're just gonna kind of go check out how things are doing. I've talked to my moderator team, my mods, just trying to. Hey, Giselle. Hey, Meg. Thank you. Hey, Raven. Haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you again. But from what I understand, you guys are busy out there. So, hey, Tara. Hey, Lisa. Hey, guys. So, I would keep just calling everybody out, and I'll try and continue to, but just kind of want to go ahead and get to where we're actually kind of documenting things. So, here we are. We are in downtown Kenosha, Kenosha, Wisconsin, just off of Sheridan Road and 56th Street. As you can see, there's the Kenosha County Courthouse. Hey, Marianne. Hey, Jody. Yeah, we had to go get some food in our stomachs. It's been a long day so far today. Whew, a lot of walking. You know what, Bill? Could you do me a favor and send me your address or something, or send it to my mods real quick, because you are 100% correct, and I need to be on top of that, because where you are and where I'm at, they're just too close not to want to make sure that we're on top of that. There's the mods. They're making sure that everything is up and running and that you guys are aware of the rules. So please read the rules as you come in the door. So we're gonna get out of the street because, you know, I stipulate do things like stand out in the street. So it does appear to be. Hi, Kenny. Hey, so I can't speak to other streamers. I'm sure they're doing their thing. So yes, it does seem pretty peaceful here. Just kind of want to show what's going on.
People out here that are marching and act like, oh, they're
I mean, it was funny as fuck that they already talking about trying to hide and it says on his law, that's all law.
He's still out here, right? So there's people that are out here. What I'm saying, sir, this don't say that, because that hurts me. I've been out here peaceful. Okay, but in my own city, I live here. But Tuesday night, though, sir, what you're saying, what happened Tuesday, it was not the situation that occurred.
I also reported live on Wednesday. People I reported live on.
Yeah, and I get that, but I'm just saying that.
Today that it's been very
peaceful. You
guys for 5 hours ago.
The next night, we were out for the woman that, what happened to Anthony? He died. The woman, his girlfriend, was still out here for the cause. So what I'm saying is those two different groups, like, don't say that, because I know that there are around the world and everywhere, okay?
Are there two different groups?
Yes, but don't just describe it as one in the day, one in the night, because that's not the situation. And what has occurred here, Tuesday, had nothing to do with us. It had to do with some armed civilians that the police and everyone else let come into our town. But that's what I'm saying, but don't say that, please.
175 people were arrested. 102 of them did not live in this area. I get what you're saying. These people travel around the country doing what they did here. I get that, I understand that. And all I'm saying to you is that there are groups of people, those are the people who come out at nighttime. Yeah, for the most part. Now, you don't want to hear me say that.
I'm not saying, no, I'm just saying you said there's two different groups. And what I was trying to state to you, though, is that next night after that chaos occurred, we were out here and it was peaceful at night and day. Night and day.
Yes, but that group did not come out today. I was here.
But the group didn't come out because of what occurred Tuesday, and it was literally because of the police. They let that happen.
That group didn't come.
Let that happen.
That group did not come because their mission was accomplished.
Could it have been that they were
Their
all in
mission
jail?
was accomplished. What was that?
Could it have been that they were all in jail?
Oh, they weren't in jail. Most of them
Or
were
were
in
they
jail.
scared? They could have been scared because of what just occurred. They literally, like what happened, everyone knew about it before it happened. So the cops, everyone was informed that, hey, Tuesday night, I was told by several people, hey, Selena, please don't go out tonight because I know it's going to be bad. So that type of stuff, we knew that was going to happen. In the daytime, I knew about it at almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's not just some two, no, I don't, with that statement, I don't agree with that.
You don't have to agree with it, but I've seen it all over the country. You don't have, and I respect that. I respect your right to not agree. But I do say this.
See what you're trying to say. I wasn't there.
Do we?
This is when the people came out at night. At night is when the people.
Exactly. You don't see people burning businesses during the day. That's what he's trying to say. The group that comes out at night, those are the ones with malicious intent, trying to cause chaos.
Exactly.
They don't come out during the day because obviously during the day, there's a better chance of getting caught. He's not saying you're part of that group at night because you're out here at night. He's saying the other group.
But what I'm telling you is from that's all I'm saying. Like I said, that hurts me personally because myself and almost probably people that are out here and some of the people that aren't out here because they're respecting curfew right now.
Here's the point I'd like to make.
And I don't know why my own guy didn't even back me up because he's a medic himself. And fucking
What I would say is, don't let the night belong to that group. Let's take back the night like we've taken the day. We don't have to let this happen at night. Now, unfortunately, these people are walking around with guns, and some of them are in full body armor. You can't tell the good guy from the bad, or you can't tell the bad guy from the better guy. If you understand what I'm saying. And so I guess what I'm saying, let's not give up and let them have the night. Let's take back the night.
And then I started contacting him to where he was.
Again, though, a lot of the problem people had is people out here with guns. A lot of us live in the city in this area. We didn't want further destruction to come to the city. Someone set a fire to the business right across the street from my house. I tried to run that person down and catch him for causing an arson. I was cut off by another car to let that person escape. I don't know who they were, where they're from. We were out here trying to stop further violence from happening. We didn't come out here trying to shoot at people. I personally did not have a gun that night. But again, I was out here still trying to keep the peace.
Exactly.
We don't want you guys to feel threatened because you're doing your civic duty. We want the people who did what they did to that car lot to be stopped. We don't want that to happen. That's why we came out here strapped, trying to defend our homes. That was why we were out here. So we're being villainized for exercising our Second Amendment rights, along with the First Amendment rights.
Imagine if you would have got hurt and you would have shot somebody. Imagine what.
I don't condone what he did. Trust me. I don't condone what he did.
We need to.
But again, how did that happen? People were trying to go after him too. The young man with the skateboard who I believe was shot in the chest and killed. It's a tragedy.
But no one deserves to get
guys,
You know what? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But don't go up to people with guns and antagonize
He
them.
had a fat ass gun around
Exactly.
What was he threatening from?
And there were many others that did that also didn't shoot their weapons that
Right,
night.
none of them, like you just said, none of them.
But there was also multiple shooters that night too. 2 other people were arrested for shooting.
Guys, please, let me ask you a question.
There were 2 other guys that got arrested for discharging a
Let me
weapon.
ask you a question. Don't you find it odd? Don't you find it odd that Jacob Blake was followed to his car because they thought he might have a weapon in there, and they say he had a knife in there. What if he did, and they've got guns? Back away from the knife. You got a gun. Nobody brings a knife to a gunfight. But don't you find it odd that they thought that this was the solution for dealing with him when Rittenhouse had just killed 2 people? You had 100 people telling the officers, 100 witnesses telling the officers he just shot and killed some people. He walked to the officers, one car backed out of the way to let him by, and the others pulled around. They gave him water, they took care of him, they made sure he went home. Now somebody said this to me. Someone in this crowd said to me, well, what do you think they should have done with Jacob? He tried to get away. What should they do? Let him get away? Well, they let Rittenhouse get away. He went home. And they arrested him at home. Come on, somebody shout hallelujah.
I'll shout hallelujah. They should never have let that young man go. I will be the first to admit that.
Everybody's saying something about it now, but Donald Trump didn't say not a word about that when he came over here. The only thing he did was congratulate
Hey guys,
law enforcement
look us up
for what
at
a good job they
armed.org.
did. Now, one
Armed.org.
time,
Americans
did he
Resisting
say
Minority and
anything
Ethnic
about the
Discrimination.
police allowing him to still go home back to Antioch or
wanna make
anything
another-
like that? All he said
I wanna
was,
make one last-
I congratulate law enforcement on what a good job he did. Kenosha would have never made it through if it wasn't for me bringing the National Guard and putting
that's what he
Kenosha to a safety place that they are
Well,
right now.
you
That's
can blame
the only
the,
thing
you
that
can blame
man
the
said the whole
governor,
time he
the
came
mayor
over.
I
for the
wanna make
debacle
He
one-
on
ever
that.
mentioned
I wanna
the
make
people
one-
of Kenosha.
I wanna
He
make
said
one
he would
last
give
point.
money to the small businesses, but is it really enough for you to do that and congratulate law enforcement for just blatantly letting a white kid at that go after he just blatantly shot
Well, you
two
just said
kids?
the magic word, white.
Blatantly.
You just said the magic word, white. White
Exactly,
kid.
because that's what
Let me
everybody
make
sees.
one last point.
At the end of the day, that's what everybody sees. A black guy getting shot, a white kid
Armed-
let him
armed
be
has-
able to be free after he just
Armed
shot.
has teamed up with Nexus Services out of Verona, Virginia. Armed is out of Chicago, and we actually work nationally. We've teamed up for two reasons. Number one, we're here because we want to offer scholarship funds to all of Blake's children. And so I think that's a good thing. We want to, Nexus Services and Armed together, we want to offer scholarship funds to all of his children. The other thing, what we realize, and this is what we find all over the country, when this happens, there is one high-profile case. But that's just indicative of what's going on throughout that system. And so I can promise you in Kenosha, Wisconsin, this is just a drop in the bucket compared to what is going on. So now most people don't have the resources to fight that battle themselves. We have the resources, we have the financial resources, we have the legal resources. If you know anyone who's gone through the same thing that Jacob Blake has gone through, now he has lawyers in place, but there are a lot of people who don't have that in place. They don't have the legal resources to fight a case, so they get beat, they get killed, and it just goes away. What we're saying is we would be prepared to dig those cases up for you, or anyone else that you know, we would be prepared to dig those cases up and fight that battle for them at no cost to the litigant.
Where are you from?
We're from Chicago.
Okay.
And
You said you're reporting?
I do report, but I'm also. I gave you my card.
Yeah, no, I haven't
I'm
had a chance to look at it, no,
I'm
what kind of
actually the
name?
managing director for an organization called ARM, which is an acronym for Americans Resisting Minority and Ethnic Discrimination. Police shootings take place all over this country. We are there when they happen. And I tell you, I have been in my hotel room crying when it happened. I'll never forget when Alton Sterling was shot and killed. And then we were planning to go to Baton Rouge to deal with that. We had a meeting in Virginia, and we were trying to see how we were going to handle that. What happened as we were planning is Philando Castile got killed in Minnesota. And there I am in tears. I tell you, I cried like a baby. When these things happen, black men and women, not just men, but black men and women were being hunted by white police. This is the new Jim Crow. This is the 21st century lynching. It is no secret, I've been talking about it for years, it is no secret that the FBI released a report, released a study indicating that the police departments were taking on recruits from white nationalist groups, from hate groups, and these people were coming onto the police force to crack heads. They were cracking, they came onto it to take lives. And here's what, I'll say this and then I'll leave you alone. But here's the other thing. The Supreme Court messed up. There were so many black people or people of color getting shot and killed until the Supreme Court passed a ruling that you can no longer do this. You can no longer use deadly force unless you fear for your life, unless you feel that you're in jeopardy of losing your life. And so this is why when an officer shoots someone in the back, this is why when an officer presses a gun to someone and shoots them in the chest, they turn around and say, oh, I feared for my life. This is why when someone's handcuffed behind their back, and they're on the ground already. And I'll tell you another thing. And then I'll tell you another thing. What's that, sir? Yes. I'll tell you another thing. I have had to teach my sons. White people don't understand what I'm about to say. But I have had to teach my son. I learned years ago, when my son was very young, he liked playing cops. And he had guns, plastic toy guns. He had handcuffs. And here's what he would do. He would handcuff family members with those plastic handcuffs, and we all went along with it. We thought it was cute. But he could not stand to be restrained himself with his own plastic toy handcuffs. And as he got a little older, I realized something. That's a problem in this country. It will get him killed. And so I had to start teaching him that you must learn to submit to being put in restraint. When you are pulled over by a police officer, they will tell you, stand here while I check things out. When I get pulled over by a police officer, they tell me, turn around and put your hands behind your back. It's a very different situation. And so a black man in this country must learn to submit to being put in restraint. Otherwise, he can lose his life. What happens when he flinches, because nobody really wants to be put in restraint, when he flinches, that flinch is called resisting arrest. If he just flinches a little bit, it's called resisting arrest. Now it's escalated. So what they do is they take him with his hands and his arms where he cannot support himself, he cannot break his fall, and now they tell him on the ground. So you've got 6 officers holding him, telling him to go on the ground on your face. This is why you see a black man always laying in a puddle of blood. Around his head, there's always a pool of blood, because he went down with his hands behind his back with 2, 3, 4, or 5 or 600 pounds on his back and on his head, smashing him into the ground. And so it's a very different situation. We need to do something about this. We need to do it quick.
What are we going to do? You've been around the world. You said you've seen it time and time again in so many different places. We're talking a lot about incident after incident after incident. But right now, for young people, what are we going to do to make a change?
One thing we need to do is change laws. I believe this, and I've always said this. Anytime, or most of the time, when police-involved shootings take place or police-involved killings take place, there are other officers standing around. When Laquan McDonald was shot and killed in Chicago, there were about 5 officers standing there who didn't think that it was important enough, or serious enough rather, at that time to pull their gun. So they're standing there. He's got a knife across the street. Another officer pulls up, and in just a matter of minutes, he's shot and killed. He fired 16 shots at Laquan McDonald. He only stopped shooting because he ran out of ammo, and they stood by and watched. I believe this. We must pass laws that if you stand by and watch, you are an accomplice. Now, I'll tell you this. In Minnesota, when they decided that it wasn't just Eric Chauvin, it wasn't just Officer Chauvin on the net, because that one shot didn't show the other officers. Eric Chauvin was kneeling on the Corporal Eric Chauvin. He was the officer in charge of that particular scene. He knelt on George Floyd's neck with his knee, but there was also a man, another officer, kneeling on his torso, where so he couldn't even breathe. There was another one kneeling on his leg, so he couldn't change positions, and so he was in that position where he could not breathe. He said, "I cannot breathe," and I can tell you, he must have seen these other issues or these other situations where the same thing happened to other black men. He must have seen Eric Gardner say, "I cannot breathe." And when he said, "I cannot breathe," and they didn't give up, he knew he was going to die. I say that we change laws. When these men started being arrested, when they were charged, these other officers, when they start facing jail time, when they're being pulled away from their families, all of a sudden, some of the officers around the country now are starting to take it easy. And they're saying, okay, that's enough. That's enough. Don't shoot him too many more times. Because they know if they don't say something, they themselves, in 2020, will face charges for being an accomplice.
So we need to stop that and then move forward by doing what?
Move forward?
Move forward.
Well, you know,
what's the next step?
I've asked communities and I've asked police officers around the country anytime there's been a shooting. I asked police officers, do you think that there's a bridging between the community and the police department? And all of the police officers have said to me, no. When I asked the community, do you think that there's a way to bridge the gap between the community and the police department? And the majority of the people in the community say yes. I think that what we need to do now is start getting these officers back on the streets, walking through the community, retraining. Now, retraining, we also need to filter and sift out the bad guys. There's some bad guys in there that have been doing this for years. Anytime someone has 22 complaints against them, 32 complaints against them for violence, that's a bad guy.
Okay,
we keep saying that they're bad apples.
So we're going to move around.
Let's get the bad apples out of there.
Again, I'm gonna go ahead and strictly say this for myself in the feed. Yeah, go ahead. Nobody is stopping you from that. Nobody is stopping you guys from that. I have said from the beginning that this is for information purposes of my hometown. It's not here so that you can debate the people that are on camera. It's not here so that you can scream at and yell at each other. You are more than welcome to check out another stream. Nobody is holding you guys here. The reason why it's so such strict rules is because things tend to get out of hand very quickly. It always snowballs. It's always starts off with one little comment that leads into another, 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 and then it escalates out of control to where the moderators just have to start banning people for the sake of banning people to keep the peace. So again, you guys don't have to be here. If you guys don't like it, there's other streamers. Nobody is stopping you. This is so that I can document what's going on in my stream, and we happen to walk up on somebody that was doing an interview. If you guys, don't like the interview, I don't know what to tell you. Yes, you are more than welcome to comment on CJTV and PT Freight Broker. There is. You guys are more than welcome to this. I don't. And by the way, guys, because I know there's people that are complaining, this doesn't matter which side you are. If you're in there antagonizing, since we have to do sides here, since everybody has to do this, if you're from the left side antagonizing people that lean right, you're gone too. If you're from the right side antagonizing people on the left, you're gone too. I don't care. This is not human cockfighting. We're here to observe and report.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, you can talk all you want, but it always gets into these things. I don't know what you want me to do. So we did that. Though that was the one person that was doing an interview when we came up. So there's this. So as you can see, Civic Park is just quiet. It's really, really quiet. Yes, guys, you guys are all welcome to your opinion. Just do not antagonize each other, okay? Yelling at a guy on the screen who can't hear you, I'm not sure what you're accomplishing, but you do you.
Keeping up with it, but I see them walking around, and I showed them, I explained to them what we were talking about it, the first couple nights with the vandalizing and whatnot.
So again, what we got going on is that there is definitely more activity out here tonight. There's more people out than there have been last couple of nights that are not media. So as you can see, there are people kind of out. So let's kind of get this. So there's this. So as you can see, what's going on in the middle of the street is that we've definitely got more people in the street tonight. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say this. there is that music that you hear in the background. I do not own the rights to that, or whatever it is. I don't know what the actual technical term is for that, but you guys get it. I do not own the rights to that music. I don't know. You're more than I think I see CJ's on. You guys are. Yep, looks like he's recording over there. Let me just actually get this here.
The medic that I have medics that can vouch for my area, but the one that's picking me up right now, she took me home because I ended up having to bring a vest that was somebody else's to the hospital.
So David, what you're saying is you were not present.
No, I wasn't even present. No, all I have is the video when I was in the hospital. I dropped off a vest to Robert's truck, and this lady that's about to pick me up didn't even cross for that.
Did I give you my card?
Yeah, I got your Alright, because I don't know, like my posts weren't trying to be malicious or anything. I'm just showing what people are saying about it. I don't know if everybody's saying the same thing that
One thing happened tonight, just say the whole
but
day.
I wasn't going to put my 2 cents in anything. I was going to let people talk to people. I didn't think that my stuff was actually public. I thought everything that I said on my Facebook.
Alright, so what we're waiting on is we're waiting on getting this information. What I understand is from an organization called ARN, A-R-N. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't get your name earlier for the camera.
I'm a moderator in that group. So if you want to join that group, you get a whole lot more info. I'll accept you. You get a whole lot of info. I go live as well. When I go live, when it's protest
Thank you very much.
I try not to show any of the negative shit.
All right. Oh, Reverend. Mr. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. Jackson. Sorry, I apologize. All right. So what we got here is that was Reverend Frank Jackson. It looks like he's the founding director of ARMED, A-R-M-E-D, Americans Resisting Minority and Ethnic Discrimination Incorporated, Global Communications Media Service, and United Council of World Ministries Incorporated. Bishop Frank Johnson. So that's who that was. Again, we don't own the copyright to this music or something like that, whatever the correct terminology is. You do have people here. You have people. Sorry, not showing faces. Just kind of want to get the. Can I ask what these are made of? Is that just a
barrel.
Just an old barrel? Is it the plastic ones or the? Oh, okay.
The plastic barrel with styrofoam, and there's a centerpiece that's reinforced with a second piece of plastic.
Okay. Alright guys, so as you can see, it's almost like a block party feel here. Got a vehicle in the street, playing music. LARP, that's awesome. So we do have people here. We have people in the streets. Now, I think the only thing is that I'm not seeing any ACLU or legal observers, but I think they're more dispersed. The park itself is actually pretty clear, and the funny thing is that there's no one in the park. People are actually in the street, but not in the park.
Every day. Who knows how long we're going to be around here with the world again? How about a volcano? Let's go out and practice on volcanoes, man.
Another note. Never go around live playing music.
It's all over.
Yeah, they keep making me say this. I do not own the copyright to this. There you go. Yeah, I do not own the copyright to this music, so as you guys have already heard that multiple times. As you can see, there are people kind of out in the streets. If we're, I mean, like, it sounds more like a metaphor, but people are actually in the streets, and I don't know if that's press that's still coming up, but you can still see people walking down the street, walking up the street. Still quiet. Yes, curfew is in effect. And yeah, this is what we got going on. So this is what we got going on, guys. Again, we do not own the copyrights to this music. I think we have to keep saying that, or they ban me, or they block my videos. You got NBC5 backing up, making all that noise. They're the loudest thing on the street besides the music. No, it's not really dark. It's more of a dusk. It'll be dark here, I would say, within the next 5 minutes. But again, my goal is to make sure that we're out here kind of documenting what's going on in the city, show everybody where the lovely town that we come from, the real beauty behind it all, which is the community in and of itself, how the community has taken it upon themselves to build back up, get back up on their feet, dust themselves off, and push forward. So there's that. And like I said, if I didn't know any better, I would say I was at a neighborhood block party. Got people skating in the street, and again, I do not own the copyright to this music, so please, I'll keep trying to remember to say that. But if I do not say that, and I don't know if it is something that has to be said every time the song changes or a different song plays, I'm not sure of the rules here, guys. We all know that I am new to this, and I'm new to this, and I keep bumbling through this, and you all are here watching me do it. So we're all having a good laugh together. And again, the second loudest thing on this street is the NBC5 Chicago truck. Now see, look, there's a debate I can get behind. I see people debating the end of the Civil War. See, we don't care if you have debates. It's about, making sure that we're not getting antagonistic in the beat. I'm not out here antagonizing people. I don't want people antagonizing people in my street, and that's all. Okay. I know that song, but I don't own the rights to that either, so we're going to keep saying that. I don't own the rights to this music. No, I don't. I'll be honest with you guys, if I own the rights to any of the music, yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that. Is this a Pokemon Go event? It could be. It could be, couldn't it? could be. So here we are. So what we're gonna do is the crowd or the group of people has dwindled. How active? So here's just a straight version of it. If we're being honest, the protests have been active throughout Kenosha during the day. Oh, that is going to be a law enforcement vehicle, so we're not going to go that way. There's another law enforcement vehicle. So, anyways, as I was saying, the protests have been kind of constant throughout the days. So you had the March last rally with the Blake family. Hold on. Yeah, if we could pin that directly to the main rules, that'd be great. That would kind of cover us, I hope. I guess we'll find out. But I think the car that was playing music is gone either way it goes. Anyways, as I was saying, the protests have been pretty constant since. They're just during the day. With the curfew in force, the way that it is, that you haven't seen a lot of people at night. You do see stragglers, say around 7:30ish, but even then, from what I've heard, that's not really a thing, as law enforcement has been stopping people and then kind of moving, saying, hey, where are you going? Why are you here? Get back to where you got to do. Alright guys, so the moderators are going to repost the rules, but they're going to add we do not own the copyright, or we do not own any copyright to this music. Just kind of CYA. So again, I'm actually backing up. It is very quiet. It is very quiet down here. Everybody that's from here, which should probably be pretty much the majority of the people that are on my stream, that's a bad call. But anybody that's from here that happens to be on my stream knows that Kenosha is generally a somewhat quiet town. There's not a lot going on. You got your festivals, your things like that. But this entire situation that's been happening for the last 9 days, this is way outside the norm for Kenosha. So, of course, there's some speculation as to preparedness to being prepared for these things when they happen. No, CJ and Mercado are still here. They are actually, I haven't seen Mercado actually. Not since I came back down here. I know I've seen him earlier in the day. CJ is actually over there doing an interview with someone who was very outspoken about the Here's the thing, guys. If anybody's going to take credit for the city of Kenosha being quiet, it's going to be Kenoshians. That's what it is. Kenosha is going to step up and say, no, we did this. We kind of made sure. We kind of made sure that things kind of stayed calm. Because I'll be honest with you, there are times where I've been filming through the city and you've had people, yell out things like, "If you're not from here, don't come here." And that was actually, I think, the second night after last Tuesday. But yeah, I think that I would hope that the city itself would step up and say, "Hey, no, we did this, we managed this, we came together and did it." Yeah, I heard it was pretty quiet. I know on Sunday when I was out, the most activity was press and interactions that we had with law enforcement. So there is that. Hey, what's going on here? What is this hong hong hong? Guys, please don't spam the feed. Yes, malcontent. So I'm so glad that somebody brought up malcontent, because I will be honest with you. Malcontent Tango, I believe is what it is. They have been helping me out big time. So fielding phone calls for me, answering questions, you know, kind of helping me out, explaining things, making sure that I was prepared, telling me what to do, as far as like, this is how I want to handle certain situations, so on and so forth. So no, and I respect that. I do appreciate the love that CJ Mercado gave me. So I think that the problem is that when people come over from another streamer's page, I just want to touch on this briefly. There's an expectation that the rules can be the same. And the thing is that I'm not going to tell. They've been doing it longer. They can do whatever they want. I'm more concerned with making sure that things stay peaceful, so on and so forth. So. I'm sorry if I came across irritated earlier, guys. I really don't want to be out here kind of monitoring comments whenever we could be.
So again, that's another case. It doesn't matter who the victim is.
I know of the Rundown Live. I haven't gotten to watch any of their live streams or anything. I just know who they are from my interactions with them here, down here. And again, I'm more grounded here and making sure I know what's going on here. We have a napper. That is actually pretty cool. If I remember right, that's a press person. So what we got going on over here is you have law enforcement kind of on the outskirts. So yeah. Since we have time, guys, and there's still people in the park and they haven't had an opportunity to, get all the interviews in yet, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a few things. So, I don't know who was on the feed or on the live stream before, but the way that we are going to, at least I'm going to be doing things, is that I will be doing this through the election at the least. Now, as we all know, that the election is probably not going to end on November 3rd, as there's going to be a lot of mail-in ballots. That's just a fact. So with that being said, we are going to be running, at least we'll be out and about until at least after the election. And that could be a long time. That could be all the way up into the new year. But what we are going to do is that at some point, so what I was saying is that what's going to happen is that we are going to sit down and do a brainstorm session with me and the team that I have, and we're going to try and come up with a way to make sure that we get the things that we need to make sure that we're protected. So we're going to be looking at fundraisers for protective gear, stuff like that. I'm not asking for money. I'm just kind of giving everybody a heads up. And we have a feeling that we'll be taken care of primarily by the community of Kenosha. But the plan is to kind of be out at polling places to make sure that you know, we're kind of covering that. Of course, we would encourage anybody that has not sure what's going on there. What was I saying now? So yeah, we'll be covering it through, and then we're going to try and do fundraisers to did it teach you a lesson? I'm not exactly sure what that's in reference to, but so yeah, guys, it's really peaceful. So, yeah, we're reevaluating everything, guys. Like I said, we know that we're going to be, at least I'm going to be here through, and I'm sure my team is going to be too. I've got to be honest with you. I've never seen a more motivated group of people. During the break, I met with a couple of the team members, and they are just really gung-ho and all into it, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm really proud of them for stepping up, because I'll be honest with you guys, all of them are doing this with absolutely no pay, just a mission to get out there and let people see what Kenosha is about. So, sorry.
Hey, that's right.
So, yes, it is pretty quiet here.
Everything's a blur when you move.
So,
there's Lakota right there in the background. Y'all say what's up, Lakota.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Everybody wave to CJTV. How you doing? Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? Lakota, we were driving in from DC, and as we're driving, I'm just barely coherent. I look over, and the side of this building that's like the size of that post office, it just says Lakota forever. And I was like, get your camera, hurry!
I should copyright that.
I wanted to get Lakota forever. I was like, oh man, we should have got that. We couldn't have got that pic for Lakota. I almost made Drew turn around on the freeway so we could go back and get another shot of it. I was like, Lakota would appreciate it.
I'm sure we could find it, Google it somewhere on the internet. Somebody had to have captured it.
Someone would look up Lakota forever on the road outside of here. It's between DC and Kenosha.
Lakota forever.
Kaiser's Pizza and Pub. How's Kaiser's?
Kaiser's is a
Kaiser's is
staple. Yeah.
Kaiser's is decent. Billy the
My brother used to work there.
I'm sorry, I did see you guys wave. How you doing?
For the wrap up, I guess it's dead.
Yeah.
Since the Trump protesters left this morning.
How long have you guys been out here today?
Since 12.
Since 12. Oh wow, good. What is this? 9 o'clock now, or no?
We started
8.
the protesting because nobody was out here. So I was like, why not? Let's do it. There was a lot of
7:45.
Trump supporters and no Black Lives Matter supporters. So we was like, fuck it, let's do it. Yeah, been out here since 12.
And then, you know, after he had arrived in Bradford, I did come over here and I saw that the Black Lives Matter protesters managed to make it out here. And then, of course, you guys, there was a group over on 28th and 40th that I got really good footage of. As you saw, there was a lot.
Did they
I don't
die
know.
down?
I didn't get to see, but whenever I was over there, I want to say at around 2:30, 3 o'clock, it was actually still going pretty strong. So I had the bounty houses out there and everything.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty
And
cool
they
to
were
see.
selling food and stuff. I didn't get to go to that one. That's the one I went to go to because we already ran the protesters off. So I'm at the Trump support, so we might as well just move around. They're trying to see. Somebody just went to see if they still do anything on 28th, you know, so we can come together and be bigger. And what was the other one you said?
So the one that we've managed to cover today is we started out on 28th and 40th, and then we went over to take a look on the president coming into town, and then we came back over to 28th and 40th, and we've been down here for the rest of the day, kind of capturing things.
They didn't tell us where he was going to be at because they knew.
I mean, to be fair about it, that's kind of with any sitting president. They're not going to let anybody know, right? Because it's a safety thing. But yeah, believe me, because we were running all over trying to figure out where the best spot was going for us to be to kind of get that video.
I didn't know he was going to be right by my house. Like, wow. He's literally right by my house. I would have been right there saying, boo, fuck you. Like, I don't like Trump. Like, I don't.
So, if you don't mind my asking, what is your name?
Shamel.
Shamel? Shamel, now I've heard you say that there are some things that you don't like. Now, could you just expand on that and what it is specifically that you do not like? Is it policies? Is it behavior?
The behavior. And the stuff that he does and he thinks is okay. He don't like... Stuff that happened that he does to people, the press will talk about it, but he would never mention it. Like when they said he was holding immigrants and kids and stuff, and he just like don't give a fuck. He said grab our vagina, grab women's vaginas, like what type of stuff is that? And everybody said he's for women. He's definitely not. Okay. He hates women, as I see it. If y'all see Melanie Trump, don't even hold his hand. That's been one of the things. He grabbed her hand, she be like, and she's not even the president. I don't know what she's doing. But he's just rude. He out of his head. I don't know what's his problem. He's crazy.
Okay.
And he thinks he's going to get 4 more years. If you notice, none of the riots started until he was president. All these presidents been doing fine. Ain't no more riots like within a couple of years. No, until he came. I feel like he destroying the U.S. and that's on purpose. He came to Kenosha and after they told him not to, because he want us to destroy our own stuff. He want us to get rowdy. He wants us to start riots. That's what he wants us to do. And then I suppose we want to put $47 million to Kenosha to rebuild it. And he says he's going to be president next year. Well, this year, if he becomes president, your $47 is down the drain. Because I promise you, people is not going to react nicely to that. They're going to burn everything down.
Do you think it would be his re-election that would cause that, or do you think it would be the cases that? Do you think it would be impacted though by the cases that are working through the system with the shooting of Jacob Blake, and then of course the situation with Kyle Rittenhouse? Do you think that will have a bigger impact, or do you think it will be just?
It have a bigger impact because first of all, we already been doing it, like protesting and stuff for these people. So him being being reelected is just gonna put the icing on the cake, basically.
Okay. Now we all know that this year is kind of like an odd year or a very weird year, right? So we may not even know what the results of the election are until early to mid next year, given that there's a lot of mail-in voting. I'm sure that people know, people are getting their mail-in ballots and so on and so forth.
And then try to shut voting down because he's not going to be able to be reelected. I don't think the people's going to vote for him.
Do you think that the American public can withstand waiting for a very long? I mean, from your point of view, from what you guys think?
No, we're not going to keep postponing this. No, we need to do this now and get it over with.
Right.
How are we going to survive the winter with nothing? With no stores, no nothing because of Trump? No, nobody, no. They want him out of office, and that's what needs to happen in order for Kenosha to be won again. And rebuild everything is once he's out of office. We'll let the next president come and rebuild our stuff.
Well, what if I pointed out that it seems to be that Kenosha is actually kind of dusted itself off, kind of, said, okay, we're going to get out there and start redoing this ourselves. Would you say that's a fair assessment, that Kenosha has said, yeah, we're not going to worry about him and all that other stuff. We're going to do it, and we're not going to let anybody else take credit. We did it. We're out there. We're working on it. We saw a lot of plain boards, right?
Government help.
Right?
Government is full of lies and promises that they cannot fulfill. It's pointless in putting your trust in some person to rebuild our stuff where we live. They don't live here. Right. He over there living in the White House. We should not rely on them. We should go out and do it ourselves and make it better ourselves.
And would you say that that's been happening?
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, I went to Uptown. I seen they was really helping people, food, building up, cutting boards. There were people putting boards up,
Doing a lot of the artwork,
step by
right?
step. It's only so much a person can do.
Right.
They got GoFundMe page. They're trying to get it there still. They're not trying to ask for government help for real.
And I think as a community member, we'll see that. I've lived here my entire life. I think that it's one of the things that we can manage to do. You got a phone call. I know that you're waiting to find out if you can get over there, but I want to thank you all for your time, and you have a wonderful night.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Hey, how you doing again?
Good.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
You down here covering it too?
I am.
As you can see, it's a little more lively than it was the last time that we ran into each other, huh?
It is, and I had quite a run-in yesterday with
Really?
one of the same, with the police chief.
Really? Do you mind if do you want to talk about that? And do you mind if I film it?
Yeah, let's do that. But
Okay.
I wanted to tell you first that a very good old friend of mine who I've known since I was like 10 years old, she gave me a list of names of people that I should look up here, and she gave me your name.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, well, there's a mutual friend.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's, I'll be honest with you, it's a little surreal to me. That seems to be happening a little bit more and more. So it's a good thing. But like I said, I want to shine a light on my city, not so much on myself. So, hey guys, we have Amy Katz here again. I do remember who you are. And Amy is going to talk to us about an experience that she had last night when she was out. And it was past curfew. I just kind of want to, was it?
It was just a few minutes past curfew.
Okay, hold on, Amy. You know the deal.
Oh, yes.
We're going to get you mic'd up here.
I gotta get one of these for my interviews with people.
Yep, just keep them separate, and the mic is on your left-hand side.
Okay, so the last time that you interviewed me, we had a confrontation with about 20 police officers who were telling us we had to go home, and I was arguing that there is an exemption for media, for press, and they really tried to persuade us that no, we could not be out past 7 o'clock. But in the end, they let us go and stand over there where the media trucks are. Right.
Yeah, that works, nice.
So I was like, okay, this is good. And then yesterday there was a press conference that the mayor gave, and someone specifically asked if there was an exemption for press for the curfew, and he said he would check on it, but that he would make sure that the media was accommodated and that they could do their job, definitively. So that's just the context. The police chief himself, or sergeant, whoever was, the supervisor, who I had talked to on the 30th, and then with what the mayor said, I felt confident that we could be out past curfew. It was only about a half hour, and I was back at my hotel, just going in the door when another journalist from the LA Times said, "Oh look, someone's being arrested." So I just took a few steps, turned on my camera, and started filming. All of a sudden, I hear the police say, "Get out of here." And he shines a light, the brightest light, right in my eyes. It really hurt. And he starts screaming at me, "I remember you. I gave you a warning, and if you aren't out, if you don't go into your hotel room right now, I am going to arrest you." And I started to say something, and he just shines the light in my eyes, and he screams again. He's like, "I'm not telling you again. Get in your hotel room." At this point, I'm in the parking lot of my hotel, and I say as much to him. First of all, I'm press. I need to do my job. I can take a picture and I can videotape you arresting someone. That's what we're here to do. And I'm on private property, and I'm on in my hotel property, and there he's telling me that I have to go inside. It was like a father telling a little child that it was past their bedtime. That's how I felt. I'm a 52-year-old woman and a professional. I'm probably older than he was, but he thinks he could talk to me like this. So I was just so upset. But I did get the whole thing on videotape, and I started to put together the footage from the night before, as well as the footage from yesterday, to show people that our rights are being violated.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, Amy, because I actually was present on the 30th, and I do remember those bit of a run-ins, and I don't know, actually we had a run-in shortly after we left here. It's on my live stream. But I would love to check out those videos, because we had actually talked to a few members of legal counsel, I guess is the best way to put it. And they advise us that yes, we should make sure that we're respecting if they tell us to be off the sidewalk, so on and so forth. But the same thing is that we should be out here and be able to record. At least that's what I was told.
And I was at least 30 feet from where they were. I was at a distance. I was in no way obstructing their job, but he was keeping me from doing my job. And actually, I saw him today. He was standing in the middle of the intersection, getting things ready for Trump to come.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at me. He was standing with several other policemen. He looked right at me, and he pointed at me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he pointed at me and said something about me to the other guys. Like, what am I doing? All these look how many members of the press are here. We have at least 50 journalists, and every night they do the 10 o'clock news. But when you and I were standing over there by ourselves, that's when they harass us. So that really bothers me.
So yeah, I mean, just to kind of recap, on August 30th, we did have a few people interactions with the local police department. That interaction, if I remember right, was primarily local Kenosha Police Department. I saw a lot of actual Kenosha Police Department uniforms, cars, badges, but we also saw one or two marshal badges as well.
And there was a couple of people I couldn't tell who they were.
Right.
Who they were with. But I was actually interviewing two couples.
I remember that.
And our interviews started before 7 o'clock. It was going on for a while, and they arrested the two couples. A Caucasian couple, kind of baby boomer age. They were wearing Black Lives Matter shirts, and then an African American couple, also probably in their mid-60s. Really nice people. They get arrested as I'm interviewing them.
Right, and just to clarify, it was the Caucasian couple that got arrested, not the African American couple, right?
I thought they were both arrested, but do you know, were they not both?
No. From what I remember, the footage that we got that night, the Caucasian couple, I did get that, and the Caucasian couple was arrested, and they were placed into two separate vehicles. The African American couple, they told police that they only lived a couple blocks, and they let them go ahead and go back to their...
Oh, I'm so glad. I was up all night worrying about both of them, and I actually called the jail several times.
Mm-hmm.
If they hadn't have been bailed out in the morning, I was going to go and bail them out.
Aren't you sweet?
Yeah, I just felt so bad, and then I didn't have the name of the African American couple, so they told me there was nothing I could do without their name. But I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a busy couple of nights, but again, it's been primarily interactions with law enforcement between independent media or press and basically law enforcement. Tonight is a little bit busier than the last couple nights, as we've already a little bit busier than it has been, at least the night that I was here on the 30th, and I didn't get a chance to make it out here. So
there is something that I'd like to share.
Yeah.
If it's okay. Like,
please.
As I've been thinking about this, about the curfew. I know that President Trump is claiming that there has been no violence the last several days because of him and sending in the National Guard and all of that. And it occurred to me that it's 12 hours a day that people are not allowed to leave their houses. 12 hours a day, and I believe this is the 10th day. If people across the country, in every city, were told you can't leave your house at nighttime, there would be no crime anywhere.
Right.
However, everybody's rights would be squashed.
Right.
That's not living in a free society. That's living in a police state, and that's what this great town is right now. The fact that everyone here is out after curfew right here, but they will be justified because of the ordinance they put in place of arresting everybody here, and they'll probably come and start doing that soon. So I don't hear a lot of people speaking up against the curfew, but it also occurs to me that when people were asked to shelter at home because of COVID, You know, and now we have like close to 200,000 people have died. Trump supporters rallied against that and said that their rights were being imposed upon, you know, and they refused, so many refused to stay home. But here they say, you know, a few people died and houses were burned, so that justifies making people stay in for 12 hours a day. And,
hold on, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Can I get the mic?
And keep recording. He's going to come out there.
What are you doing?
Not too bad.
What's that? I'm not here to mess with curfew or nothing like that. I just looking to see if you guys need anything. I'd appreciate it if you're gonna stay out here just to stay off the road. I know it's blocked off. I'm not trying to make this hard on you guys or anything like that. You can hang out in the park area. That would make it a lot easier for us to kind of hang out in the park area? Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to kick you guys out, or you guys are not doing anything wrong at this time. I just, with cars coming and going, emergency vehicles, everything like that, I'd advise you to stay out. Does that make sense? Yeah, even with the bikes, guys, I just talked to him already. I just don't want to see anyone get hit by a car or anything like that, or anything bad happen in regards to you guys. I'm not here to talk about curfew. I'm not here to talk about
Black Lives Matter.
Okay. Just keep that in mind. Even in the center part here, I don't. It's not crazy. I'm not crazy about people standing in the center because we do have vehicles coming and going. I mean, not just some people are slipping through. It's a lot of police vehicles, emergency vehicles, fire trucks, things like that. I don't want to see anybody get hit. So if you'll just take that in consideration for me, that would be fantastic, okay?
That's very nice.
I do have a question, and I don't know if you will know the answer, but either of you know if that gas station down there is open? Damn.
We can always walk down there and figure that out.
He said
Black
no.
Lives Matter.
Yeah, he said no.
I didn't know you was bothered.
Black Lives Matter.
You come on over my car.
They know it's not open. Yeah.
Black Lives Matter.
He said.
It sounded like
I have no idea.
It's a learning
All right, guys, just kind of recap what happened. Police did pull up and ask us to kind of stay out of the street, not worried about curfew. He blatantly said that he is not worried about curfew. So just asked that we stay out of the street, as you know, there's safety concerns there, which is reasonable. So yeah, it's pretty quiet. I would say it's very quiet.
Yeah, and that was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, he did pull up and said he wasn't worried about curfew. Was not worried about curfew. He did want people to please stay out of the street just as a safety concern. That's just not even paraphrasing. That is literally what he said. So yeah, we are here, and basically, if I'm going to be honest with you, there is a lot of independent media and press. There are some people here.
Oh my God, yeah. DC was hot. At night though, the night when it rained, or I don't know if you were there yet. When it rained, dude, that was nice. I just
How's it going? So yeah.
He told us that you're not enforcing curfew.
Guys, there's no way to predict human behavior. I think we're all smart enough to know that. The most unpredictable element on the face of this earth is human behavior. Take it easy, guys. So to get on either side and say, oh, well, you know, blah, 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 it's human behavior is the most unpredictable element on the face of the earth. So we have no idea of knowing what's what. Amy is a sweet lady. She is very, very, very sweet lady. But yeah, a lot of this is just small local media. There are some people that are out.
What booties matter?
So, yeah. So, there are some things though that we kind of want to touch on, and LARP. So we got LARP seems to be the trending thing now, right?
I'm a streamer, and like it's less like.
That's literally what I do.
So yeah, we've got a lot of peaceful people out here, just kind of congregating, exercising their right to protest. And yeah, it's honestly, guys, it's really peaceful. It's really, really quiet. I think the most interactions that we've had have been with other people that it might be quote unquote media, or not. I'm so sorry I said that. My brain is on the fritz right now. So so the other people that we've talked to are media, reaching their orange. They've been here for the majority of the day. I think that's just how they do their thing. It's so yeah, this is what we've got going on. You've got law enforcement.
Oh, they think you're up.
Something stupid. So I started another page.
That's what it was.
So yeah, it's really, really quiet out here. That's a good thing. I'll be honest with you. We were kind of all hoping for that. There was not one person that it was in my circle that I knew that was like, oh yeah, no, we all wanted it to stay. So I don't know if it's, it's never a bet. Hold on, I'm taking a look at some of the things in the feed right now.
What's that? Leaving town? No, I'm going to be over there. I wasn't going to chicken room. What happened? I know you're not going. No.
But the fact that I have to go.
Well, I don't know if we're going to say that they're out of gas. I just know that things are winding down. I think the intended purpose was for everybody to stay peaceful. How it got that way, whether it's people perceived one thing or it was another, the goal was to remain peaceful, right? I mean, why anybody would kind of want anything else is a little. I'm gonna actually kind of go over here and check some things out. Oh, sorry, sir. I almost said "ope," guys. I almost said "ope," and I did not want to be a stereotypical.
Well, this week we're in Louisville, and next week. Check it out. We'll talk to you then. Yeah. All right. Later, Blair. Dakota, you out of here, bud? You staying in?
I'm gonna check to see if there's anything going on over on 28th and 40th, and maybe head over there. You guys out of here, or what's going on?
We're just gonna go get some food and then hit the house we're staying at tonight, and then
Sounds
tomorrow
good.
we're gonna be back in town. So we'll give you a call before we come back in.
Yeah,
we're
make
gonna
sure that
be
you guys do.
touring up like uptown and stuff like that, talk to some locals.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you guys for all your help, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys tomorrow before you take off.
My guy.
So apparently they were researching it, and the that thing was Lakota Forever is a brand of tire.
Really?
Yes. So I did not know that. So
You got your own tire, dog.
yeah, I think I'm gonna go see if I can hurry up and trademark my name and get away with that or somehow.
Start charging them.
All right, you guys, take it
All right,
easy.
we'll see you tomorrow, man.
Thanks again.
All I'm just saying is that the man, I don't care if it was a black police officer, shoot somebody in the back, he needs to be in jail. Justice needs to be served. But they upholding the law.
I know there's some people on my feed that know things about tires. I'm unclear on why they didn't tell me that I own a tire company I didn't know about. I'm very disappointed in you. So yeah. Guys, are we? Is there anything going on in town, or 28th and 40th, or anything? I'd like to. Maybe we can just take a tour downtown. Trailer, not tires. Same thing. I don't know my way around a vehicle. I put the key in and gas in, and that's about as far as I go. Now, we were talking about computers, networking, stuff like that. Silly things. Heather has a university. Heather, how did you manage that? So, I don't want to push luck, but I'm going to see if we can maybe do a tour downtown real quick. Hey, Marjorie. Actually, so the reality is I did eat earlier. I have some really awesome friends and family that made sure that I was fed before I came out here. However, I might actually sign off here in a minute to go get something else to eat again. I don't know. As you guys can see, it's really, really peaceful. Like, so peaceful. It's not as peaceful as the other night where we didn't see anybody. But yes, Barb, you do have a muffler chain. Miss Meineke, I do remember that. Yes, it's a wonderfully quiet night in Kenosha. We're going to kind of get going. Walk this way. We've got news vehicles, people from, I think, Illinois, those. Oh. Honestly, I've got to tell you guys, so honestly, guys, we are in downtown. I've actually seen people walking. I don't know if you can see them over there, but I do see people walking. It's peaceful, and it seems like people are kind of okay. Maybe we should go over and check out 28th and 40th. Like I said, this is all really quiet. I think somebody left the car lights on, guys. Oh, I feel bad. Hey, Samantha. This is the Scylla. I actually want to stay there one time. I heard that all the renovations, it's a bed and breakfast or a hotel bed and breakfast. I'd really like to check that out. I'm glitching. Hold on. Hopefully we can stop that. Alright, so we have plenty of battery. It could be just that the integrity of the stream is kind of taking over. We've been on for, I want to say, at least an hour. Hey, Jenny. Thanks for joining us. This is actually an area of town that they've been working on renovating. It's been in the works for a little while. Oh, hey, you know what I'd like to show you guys? So, in the first night, there was a gaming place, and I'm not a gamer, but I have children who are gamers, and I kind of really like the technology side, so I go in and check out things like the PCs. They were running, I can't remember what they were running off the top of my head, because there's a couple of places around here, and I don't want to get them mixed up. But there is Gravity Gaming down here. So Gravity Gaming in downtown Kenosha, they were actually, yep, we've been going for an hour and 20. Thank you for that. So Gravity Gaming was actually impacted so badly that they had announced that they were going to close. But then what happened is that a YouTube streamer that does gaming announced that he was going to go ahead and do a live stream for Gravity Gaming to try and get them back up and running, because it was, I think it was $80,000 worth of damages is what they were talking about. And in the end, that YouTube streamer managed to raise $70,000, if I remember right. So yeah, I kind of want to show you guys that, because I think it's an awesome story. It's another way of, and the streamer, if I remember right, was out of, oh, where were they out of? Great, now I can't even think of where they were out of, but it was also in Wisconsin. I want to say it was either Eau Claire. If anybody knows this information, please jump in and correct me where this gentleman was from. But Gravity Gaming did get a rather large stream donation from someone that was streaming out of Wisconsin. They're an esports streamer. The quartering, is that what it was? So here we are, downtown, literally downtown Kenosha. I would argue this is probably one of the, during the summers, this is probably one of the most traveled areas. People come down here. Hi, Mandy. People come down here. There's a lot of, they were trying to revitalize this entire area. And what happens is that there was places like the Wine Knot, the Buzz, and other, oh man, no, I'm having such a brain fart right now. Rustic Road. These are all places that they were just kind of slowly but surely bringing business back to the area. And people used to come down here all the time. I used to love coming downtown and kind of checking out new things. During the winter, I used to love coming down. So this is where Gravity Gaming was. Sorry, I know you guys should know me by now. I get distracted by shiny objects. This is Gravity Gaming. This is the place where kids had an opportunity to come in and kind of do their gaming, because let's be honest here, not everybody can afford a gaming PC. Not everybody can afford the latest Xbox and everything like that. So this gave an opportunity for kids to come in and kind of, be able to do that. And the prices were reasonable. Yes, Fex is another place that we used to go to. Fex, Kaiser's. During the day, Frank's Diner. Oh, I want a garbage plate so bad. Oh, I should probably stop talking about food. Jeremy Hambley of Sussex. That is exactly what it is. Thank you guys for that. So we want to make sure that Jeremy gets credit, because he did so much to save Gravity Gaming. And for me, that's important, because that is a business in my community that we utilize. That even if it was a business that we didn't utilize, every business here helps. So yeah, every little bit here helps. These are all things that are important. So yeah, that was law enforcement. So we've got the Wine Knot. These are all smaller businesses that were all starting to kind of flourish back in this area. So yeah, we've got Sassy Bees, the Buzz. That used to be a TCF Bank down at the end, down at the corner across from SJ Crystals. That used to be TCF Bank, but now I believe it is a church, Daybreak Church, yes. There we go. We've got Rustic Road. Now, I was down here the other day, and Rustic Road was actually open for business and had people kind of out on the sidewalk and serving people out there. They have some really good food, too. What I like the last time I went about to Rustic Road is that their menu pricing was almost kind of all inclusive. What I mean for that is that if it was listed for $8 on the menu, then it was $8. So it was like they planned the menu to include everything. So we've got Love Knows No Color, SJ Crystals, all this kind of stuff. We've got people walking down there. We're not going to venture too far down there because I don't want to go into the lake. This is actually Social Security office. Yep, State Public Defender's office. So there's this. And what most people don't realize is that at one point in time, this was kind of the big area of Kenosha, right? So you had a lot of businesses like Woolworths, Walgreens, things like that were kind of like the staple of Kenosha back whenever the town first started. And then as time moved on and things progressed, a lot of these things kind of moved out further into the city away from the lake. So they moved out to Highway 50, which is kind of like it's a main road that kind of goes through Racine. I think it even goes up to Milwaukee, South Milwaukee. Let me rephrase that. South Milwaukee. So from South Milwaukee all the way down to into Illinois. Road Theater House. Yes, Road Theater House is a staple. It is Road Theater. Whenever I say Road Theater House, and thank you for that, Zach. So when I say Road Theater, it is actually a playhouse theater. So my daughter actually got taken down there to go view, what was it? I think it was Annie or something for Christmas. Her Christmas present one year was my cousin took her to go see a play down at Road Theater House. So yeah, and then we've already talked about the Orpheum the other day. The Orpheum was a mainstay here. We're gonna cross here real quick. Here we are. So a lot of these businesses, there was a lot of empty buildings down here, guys. I mean a lot of empty buildings down here. Heritage House, which is now called the Stella, was actually kind of only used as a banquet hall at one point in time. And with that said, we're going to get to the other side of the street. I'm going to go over here. And yeah, Barden's was down here. It has, and they were really pushing to have this area revitalized. So a lot of small businesses were starting to reopen. So Stella used to be the Elk Club. I know it was a Heritage House, right? I remember attending quite a few wedding receptions there. If you ever have the opportunity to know me personally, you know that I used to celebrate weddings like there was no tomorrow. Don't ask me those stories because they're rather embarrassing and I won't tell them. But yes, Mike Bjorn's is a Kenosha staple, right? Like, Bill, when we checked that the other day, Bjorn's was fine. And I can't imagine that anything happened since then. Since everything has been so quiet down here. So yeah. The Stella used to be the Heritage House, if I remember right. That's what it was. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up. I don't know what's going on here. I do want to show you guys something, and this is where we go. That place is awesome. It's called Scoops Ice Cream. So Scoops is fudging phenomenal. We do Sandy Poppers too. So yeah, I mean, guys, if it, so obviously there are people that are saying, you know, it used to be Elks Club, Eagles Club, Trolley Dogs. Yep, Trolley Dogs. Wait, whoa, I didn't know that. I did not know Jockey used to be Sears. Was there a Sears down here? I've lived here a long time and I didn't know that, to be honest with you. Yeah, so that museum, actually, the Kenosha Public Museum, used to be where the Dinosaur Museum is. I remember that. And then when they did all the revitalization down by the pier, they moved the Civil War Museum, the Kenosha Museum, out to the new buildings. And then this turned into the Dinosaur Museum. Wow, it is really quiet. Now there are still other buildings that are kind of unused downtown. So, like for instance, look at this. See, this is the kind of stuff I like to see. So I'm being schooled. So yes, the spaghetti station. I was actually just about to speak on that. So the spaghetti station actually used to be further into town, as far as I remember. It actually was out of it was a restaurant that was built off of an old rail car, or correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know what it is. Basically an old rail car from a train. And it was a restaurant. And I remember that being a big thing, like an outing with my family every once in a while. And then what happened is that when they closed it, they did convert it into a Head Start school. So now every once in a while, they have a spaghetti station pop-up downtown off the lake. So those are fun. Yes. And I remember there being like one of the treats, or one of the, as a kid, one of the kind of really cool things was that we could go in and sit in one of the, it had an, like I said, a rail car attached to it that we could go in and either sit down, which of course didn't offer a lot of seating, right? It's a train car that is kind of small. But I remember that being a thing. Something. Yo, I don't know where that came from. Something came. So yeah, now they have spaghetti station pop-ups downtown, and I remember jumping on Facebook to hurry up and try and get a reservation for me and the kids, because I wanted my kids to see how great it was, you know, when I was young. But they didn't have a real car. So it wasn't the same kind of experience, right? It was just, but it was still good. It was still delicious. Yep, Simmons Field has been around forever. What do we got here? So when I was younger, I used to, what was it? It was the Kenosha Twins. I remember that. It was the Kenosha Twins. Then I think it got switched to the Kenosha Croakers. Is that right? Kenosha Twins, Kenosha Croakers. And now it's the Kingfish. I got to tell you, some of the best memories I have are going to Kingfish games. That's not a lie. Gone with family, friends. I've been out there having a good old blast. I won a couple tickets from my credit union for the like the all-inclusive little area behind home plate. Phenomenal. I have to tell you that. It's freaking great. So yeah. What you can't see is that they did do a lot of development. So there was a lot of newer townhomes that were built up right along the, literally right along the lakefront. In fact, they stretch out, and then the pier stretches out a little bit further. What else? So, and then you had a couple of high-rise buildings get built down here. apartment buildings, things like that. So, yeah, guys, that is a tour of my town in the downtown section. We've done this a couple of times, so I'm sure you guys have seen it a few times. Yeah, I mean, I remember like I said, the Kenosha Twins, the Kenosha Croakers, and I could be wrong on this, but I think there was even a point in time where we didn't have a minor league team, or maybe they were just in the process of transitioning. But I do remember at one point, like I couldn't remember if we didn't have one or maybe they were just transitioning. This used to be a Chase Bank drive-through. So like I said the other day, Chase Bank was actually down on the other end of this street, and then they had their drive-through over here. Look at history lessons. I have no problem with that. Used to be working harbor, 2 international ships would come in. Yes, because if I remember right, the big point behind areas like Chicago, Racine, Kenosha, Milwaukee being right off the lake back in the day was that it was faster to get goods to them through the channels and then into the lakes. And then, of course, everything would be distributed either north or south, wherever it was going. But yes, it was easier to kind of get it to these towns off the lake. Yes, because American Motors and the companies there at that time, they were huge companies here, right? Like I remember American Motors having that kind of like overpass thing on 52nd Street. And it was such a huge thing, and a huge part of the economy at that time was having that here. And then, of course, they would build the cars here, and as Zachary said, they would ship the cars out off. Oh, I wouldn't be offended by that, except for I'm actually going to pack it in. My back is killing me. This bag is heavier than I thought, and then plus I want to go try and find something to eat. I bet you I'm not going to be able to find anything because everything's closed. Son of a... All right, we're not paying attention to that part of the conversation. So, yeah. Guys, we're going to be out here a few more nights. Again, we're not stopping this. I know there's... how do I say this? I know it may not be... anything exciting or whatever to talk about, but to be honest with you, I think as someone who's from Kenosha, I'm not upset about that. That is a wonderful thing that we don't have to have anything exciting, anything newsworthy to talk about. We are going to continue this because, as I said, that I think that there's a lot of things that are going to continue to impact the way that we're going. This is not a 2-minute fix by any means. I think that this city will continue to grow and heal, and we'll have to see. We want to be there to see what direction it goes and how they handle the trials that they've had so far. So what I want to do is let you guys know that we're going to be back at it. We may not be out here to get you breaking news. We may, as we found out today, like we were all over the map, and I was unable to get us to where we needed to be. But the reality is that you can see what's going on. We saw a wonderful community over in the area of 28th and 40th, the area where Jacob Blake was shot. And then, of course, we saw more community whenever we came down and seeing people marching and protesting through the streets. And you had people that were driving up and helping. And then, of course, when we were touring downtown, we saw a lot of people, a lot of artwork, not just businesses boarded up, but people who are contributing to this community. And we want to keep that going. We're going to definitely be going through the elections. I think we are going to also run some interviews. I've got to find a way to make time for that in my schedule. Again, not to make excuses, but full-time parent, full-time job, part-time student. Oh, shit, I forgot to register for classes today. Damn it. All right, let's not pay attention to the stupid stuff that Lakota says on the stream. Let's just focus on the stuff that I say that's not stupid. So, yes. With that being said, guys, I am going to go try and find somewhere that I can eat, which that's probably not going to be a thing because there's nowhere left to eat. I knew I shouldn't have eaten those leftover tacos last night. I just knew I shouldn't have done it. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sign off. I want to let you guys know that I really appreciate all of you being here. I know that there are people from all over the country that are viewing me as a result of CJ and Mercado going ahead and sending us some recognition. I've seen people pop up from Ireland, the UK. I really want to point out that that's what we were trying to do. I wanted the world to see my community and where I'm from and how that's been impacted. So I want to thank you all again for joining me. It's been a pleasure. We'll be back at it again soon, maybe tonight, or I'm sorry, maybe tomorrow night, maybe a couple days after that. So yeah, we will go ahead and sign off, and we will see you guys all in the next one.
Wow, let's just put this.